Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Maria. Okay, let's begin our class. We are studying these days the conditional sentences, right? We studied that the conditional sentences are in reality not just one, but two sentences connected by if. And there are four types of conditional sentences. The zero conditional sentence, which is when I am referring to something that is invariable in life, something that with certain conditions you always get the same results. This is the typical zero conditional. The condition is in simple present, and the main clause, I mean the other part, is also in present simple. So condition in present simple, main clause in present simple. And we use it, I repeat, when I'm speaking about laws of nature or things that under certain circumstances will always happen. For example, when we speak about the water and we say, if you heat water, it boils. You see, if you heat, present, it boils, present, present, and present. Zero conditional. The first conditional is again the condition, if the condition in simple present again, but now the other part is in future with will. Well, it can be will, and some people use can, which is admissible too. For example, when I said, if you invite me to your party, I will go. You see, if you invite me, present simple, I will go, the future with will, or I can go with can. This is conditional number one. Some people consider that this is an open condition, open to possibilities, because if you invite me, I go. If you don't, I don't. So it is still possible. However, conditional number two or second conditional is different, because now, for the first time, the condition is in simple past, not in present, like in zero and first. No, in the second conditional, the condition is in past simple. If I had money, had is the past of have, so this is in past. And now the main clause, the other part, is using the combination of would and the verb in simple form. If I had money, I would buy a new car. Would buy. See that? This is conditional number two. And the final condition, which is number three, the third conditional, is when you are referring to something that happened in the past. There is no possibilities. There is an irreal situation, because everything happened in the past. And what is the grammatical combination? The condition is going to be in past perfect. For example, if I had won past perfect. If I had won the lottery, right, maybe you immediately notice that when I say that is because I didn't win the lottery, right? If I had won the lottery, and now the combination would, have, and the verb in past participle. Some people say that is would plus present perfect. Yes, because present perfect is have and the past participle of the verb in question. So if I had won the lottery, I would have what? I would have bought a mansion. I would have bought a mansion. See that? This is conditional number three. But the reality, that's why they consider that the third conditional is something unreal. Because if I said that if I had won, it's because I didn't win the lottery. That's it. Another thing we studied in class previously was that the condition can be at the very beginning. If I had money, and then you use a comma. If I had money, comma, I would buy a car, for example. But if the condition is at the end, I would buy a car if, you see, now the condition is at the end, I don't use a comma. And this is important for you because in the Cambridge exams, you receive a penalty for using incorrectly the punctuation. So every time you make a mistake in the punctuation, you receive a penalty of minus 0.25. So it's not funny at all. Good. Then when we thought that everything had finished in the world of conditional sentences, then we studied that sometimes I begin my condition, for example, using the third conditional, and I finish with the second, because the condition was in the past, but the result is in the present. So I begin with the third conditional, past perfect, see that, is the past of the past, and I finish with the second simple past. No, would and the verb in simple form, sorry. Which is not the logical thing. If you begin with third conditional, you should finish with third conditional, but not in the mixed conditionals. And also, it is possible that you, in some occasions, begin with the second conditional and you finish with the third, because the condition, the result is in the present and the condition is in the past. We studied this and we did a lot of exercises about conditional, and the homework was dealing with this, because the homework was a piece of paper in which they were giving you the beginning of the condition, sometimes first conditional, yes, sometimes first or second or third conditional, never mixed conditional, not in this exercise, right? The idea was that they were giving you the beginning of the condition and you have to finish. For example, number one, if I lived in the country, what? If I lived in the country, what? Mike, how did you finish the first one?
Sorry, Jerry, in what exercise?
This is finish the conditional sentences. It's a copy.
Okay. But we correct this paper, no?
In class?
Yes, the last day. I think so. At the beginning of the class. No?
No. It was a different exercise. What we corrected at the beginning of the previous class was this one.
Yes.
But this is different because you have to finish the sentence.
But in the WhatsApp group, we don't have any paper. We have for homework, grammar exercise 2 and 3 of page 133 and grammar exercise 2 of page 48.
Really? I'm sorry.
Any page.
Thank you, Mike, for telling me that. Because this was the homework, but in the other classes. So we have exercises 2, 3, and on page 133. Is that 133? Which is dealing with I wish I'm sorry, give me a second. Because we didn't finish this, Mike. Thank you very much, friend. So it's exercise 2. Let me see it in the book. Give me a chance. Where is it? Where is it? The student's book. Page 133. Here. Candidate often confuse which and hope. Is that Mike?
Yes.
Good, good. Thank you, friend. Candidates often confuse which and hope. Read these sentences and decide when which is used correctly and when you should use hope. If you think a sentence is correct, write correct and don't touch it. It was lovely seeing you, and I wish to see you again very soon in my house. Do you consider that this is correct or incorrect? So you think it's incorrect and the word is hope. And Maria de Los Angeles, what's your opinion? Do you agree with that? I hope to see you again. Okay, very good. In number 2, going to the theme park together was great. And I wish you enjoyed the experience. What about this? Correct or incorrect? What is the problem? If there is a problem. For Maria de Los Angeles, hope, I hope you enjoyed. And for Mike, is the same. Yes, yes, correct. Number 3, I wish I'd visited you last summer when I had the chance. Correct or incorrect? Yes, very good, Mike and Maria. It is correct. Don't touch it. I'm looking forward to having news from you. Yes, I'm looking forward to having news from you soon, and I wish you have a good time in New York. Correct or incorrect? Hope, no which, Maria de Los Angeles. And Mike, hope, excellent, excellent. My neighbor's children are always shouting. I wish they wouldn't be so noisy. And 5, what about 5? For Mike is correct? Yes, and for Maria is correct. Excellent. Now, the performance was really good, but I wish more people will come next time. What about this number 6? For Maria Los Angeles, correct. And for Mike is hope. Yes, it is hope. We never use wish with future, Maria. We never say, I wish blah, blah, will. We never use that, never. I wish, past simple. I wish, would. I wish, past perfect. Now, number 7. I don't get many letters from you, and I wish you'd write to me more often. What about 7? For Mike is correct, and for Maria is correct. Yes, yes, good. Number 8. We wish you enjoy your stay at our hotel while you are here in Tokyo. What is this number 8? Correct or incorrect? For Mike, it is incorrect. The word is hope. And for Maria, it is correct. No, no. Again, we never, Maria, use which with simple present enjoy. Never. I repeat, we use which with past when the which is for the present, the verb is in past, simple. We use which with would when you are complaining about something, you want something to change in the future, you use would and the verb in simple form. And you use which with past perfect when you are referring to something about the past. But only this. which plus past simple, which plus would, which plus past perfect. And here you have simple present, enjoy. So it's impossible. We hope you enjoy. Well, now, exercise 3, the other part of the homework. It's a pity I can't cook well, and you have to use better. I wish I, what? I wish I, what did you write in the space in blank?
I wish I wish I was a better cook.
Yes. And you, Maria, do you agree? Okay, I wish I could be a better cook. No, this is not possible here. Because I want it now. So when you want something, when you have a wish, a present wish, something you wish for now, you use the verb in simple form. No could and the verb no. In this case, is the past, simple past, and the simple past is of the verb be, is, was, or were. I wish I were, I wish I was a better cook, which in Spanish translates, ojalá que yo fuera un mejor cocinero. Well, now, number 2, I regret not studying harder when I was at school. And you have to use if only. What is your answer? If only. What is your answer, Maria? I had to study more. Okay. And you, Mike? I had studied harder. Yes. Maria, normally we say harder. No more. You know. Normally we say, if only I had studied harder. The translation is, ojalá que yo hubiese estudiado más. But in English, we prefer using harder for study. Number 3, I want the neighbors to stop making so much noise. You have to use make. Fíjense que es una queja. Ya hemos estudiado cómo se expresan quejas con wish. So, I wish my neighbors what? What, friends? Would make less, Mike. Yes, very good. I wish the neighbors would make less noise. Yes, very good. Number 4, what a pity that they canceled the match. You have to use cold. And this is a tricky exercise because they want you to use the phrasal verb, which is synonym of cancel. If only they, what?
If only they hadn't called off the match.
Excellent, yes. If only they hadn't called off the match. Very good. I'm sorry you didn't meet my brother. And you have to use which. Nothing? Well, I wish you had met my brother. I wish you had met my brother because this is a wish about the past and I use the past perfect. The original sentence says, I'm sorry you didn't, is in past. You didn't meet my brother. So you use past perfect when you express which. Well, this was a part of the homework, but in the workbook, we have exercise number 2, homework, exercise number 2 in the workbook, page 48. Let me see the page 48 in the workbook. Here, exercise 2, which, if only, and hope. Complete each sentence with which or hope. Number 1 is the example, so we begin with number 2. My class has entered a competition and we blank, we've won first prize. What did you copy in the space in blank?
Hope.
Good. And you, Maria? Okay, it's hope. Is hope. In number 3, I blank, you could come to New York with us, but I know your parents won't let you. What about this in number 1? In number 3, sorry. What did you use, Mike?
Wish.
Wish. And in number 4?
Number 4, hope.
Correct. And in 5?
Hope.
Excellent. Excellent. And in 6?
Wish.
Very good. And in 7?
Wish.
Excellent, Mike. Number 8?
Hope.
Very good. And in 9?
Wish.
And in 10?
Wish.
Excellent, Mike. Thank you very much, friend. Well, that was the homework. Finally, the homework. Now, on page in the student's book, right? Not in the workbook. No. In the student's book, on page 135, we have the big topic of today's class. Speaking. This is going to be very funny, Mike, because of the number of students we have. Speaking part 3 and part 4. And this is the moment when you have to establish a conversation with the other person. The teacher normally gives you a diagram in a piece of paper, a diagram similar to the diagram you have here. There are 5 subjects around the central square. And in the central square, you have the question: what would students find interesting and useful about each of these subjects? For example, choosing a pet. What would the students find interesting and useful about choosing a pet? Or protecting animals in danger? How can that be interesting and useful for students? How animals communicate to each other, the language of animals. How can this be interesting or useful for students? Strange and amazing animals. Can this be interesting for students? Animals like the rhino or the giraffe or these exotic animals. And the other topic is working with animals. Can this be interesting and useful for students? Who knows? But the reality is, friends, that we are in the exam and the teacher gives you this and you have to speak. You have no preparation. You know nothing about animals because you are not a biologist or anything, but you have to speak. But take into account that what you say is not as important as the fact that you speak. You need to speak in the exam. And then you are in the exam, the teacher gives you this and you think, oh my God, and now what? You have 2 minutes to finish the conversation. You have to give opinions and speak your thoughts without any kind of preparation, previous preparation about the topic. So it's difficult exam. The only thing that guarantees that you pass the exam is that you practice and practice with different topics, because you never know the topic that the teacher is going to choose for you.
Sorry, Jerry.
Yes.
How many time is for this part of speaking?
The 2 minutes for this conversation and another minute for the second part of the conversation. Remember that they are 2 parts. The part of the conversation and a second part in which the teacher asks you to select from the 5 subjects, to select the 2 that you and your friend consider to be the most interesting for students. So
and
you have, yes?
The 2 minutes is for each student, or each student have only 1 minute?
No. Here in the conversation, you have 2 minutes. And in the second part, for both, you have 1 minute to arrive at a conclusion. That is to in a conversational way, make a decision about the two you consider to be the most, in this case, interesting and useful for the students.
Okay.
Mike, I want you to know that maybe you select that, for example, how animals communicate, you see, the topic that in this group I consider to be the least interesting for students. But imagine that you and your friend decide that this is one of the most interesting. The teacher is not going to object that. The teacher is not going to argue or nothing, because this is not the important part for the teacher. If you select this or that, it's not important for the teacher. The important thing is that you, in a conversation, make a decision about the two most interesting. Anyways, I want you to concentrate in exercise number 1. See, speaking, part 1, work in pairs, impossible. Look at the speaking task below and listen to Miguel and Irene doing the task. And then you have to answer 2 questions. What is going wrong in the conversation? And 2, what can Irene do to put things right? So I'm going to play the conversation for you, and you have to tell me what is going wrong with the conversation, what is happening here, and what, in your opinion, Irene can do to put things right. Give me a chance for finding the recording. My God. Listen. The question is, what is going wrong? What is going wrong in this conversation, friends?
I think that the girl is trying to speak, but the boy don't let her speak. And in this case we don't have a free conversation.
Exactly, Mike. Exactly that. That's the problem. And observe that the book is giving you this example because it happens in the exams more frequently than what you think. It's sometimes very common to see this in the final exams. One student trying to, to show up, trying to take the whole conversation on his shoulder. But this is terrible because if you, the other person, if the other person is not able to speak during the speaking exam, the other person is not going to pass. So this happens a lot in the exams, but you have to do something about it. You have to do something in order to participate in the conversation because you see the intention of the other person to accommodate the conversation and you need to speak. What do you think that Irene should do?
Maybe I don't think so, but sorry, I don't know.
Well,
I
let's
don't.
listen to the same conversation, but now Irene is going to do something because she wants to pass. Well, Irene did what she had to do, that is to interrupt. If you are, friends, in your examination, in the speaking examination, principally in this moment in the conversation, because remember that in the first part of the speaking exam, you receive personal questions and you answer. So you don't depend on the other person. In the second part, you describe the pictures. So you depends on you, only on you. But in this part, you are depending also on the other person. You need to interrupt if you notice that the other person is guiding the conversation and is not giving you a chance. You need to interrupt. There are two forms of interrupting the other guy. Sometimes the other person is saying something that you agree with. You totally agree, but you need to speak, so you interrupt, and there is a form for that moment. And sometimes you don't agree with what the other person is saying, and there is a different form to interrupt politely and to give your opinion. In both forms, in both formulas, you need to raise your voice. You need to speak louder because if not, the other person is not going to stop. So listen again. Did you hear that? Yes, I agree. Yes. So she agrees with Miguel, but she needs to speak. And she says, yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. And you give more information. You say something more. Yes, I agree. And a very polite way of interrupting. Let's see now the example when she doesn't agree with Miguel. Yes, you are right. But the yes, you are right is important because you don't want to offend the other person. You don't want any argument with the other person. You don't want any kind of discussion or anything. So you begin politely, yes, you are right. And now the connector, but. But means that you have a different opinion. And then you give your opinion politely, etc. But you need to interrupt. If you notice that the other person is not going to give you a chance to speak, you have to interrupt because you have to save your exam. Well, and when they finish this part, 2 minutes, and the teacher in 2 minutes interrupts, etc., the teacher wants more. Listen to the other part. Did you see that? Listen again. So you have 5 subjects: choosing a pet, protecting animals in danger, how animals communicate, etc. They are 5, but the teacher wants that you continue and in a conversational way select the 2 subjects you consider, you and the other person, consider to be the most interesting and useful for students. So you have to again begin the conversation and select 2. You don't have much time. Remember, 1 minute is nothing. Well, this is what we are going to do, my dear friend, next week on Thursday. So copy in your notebook, speaking exam, Thursday. I don't know the day, what day it is. My God. Thursday, I think it's 25th of June. I think it is June 25th. We are going to take this exam. So you have time to prepare. What are you going to say about choosing a pet? What can you say about interesting and useful of protecting animals in danger? What can you say about the interest and usefulness of the communication of animals? How interesting can be for students visiting strange and amazing animals or working with animals in a zoo? How this can be interesting and useful for students. You need to prepare that. Prepare that, I repeat, Maria and Mike, because you two are going to take the exams. Maria, do you understand? Okay, because and remember, it is not going to be on Tuesday. No, it's not next Tuesday. It is going to be next Thursday, June, I repeat, June the 25th, speaking exam. And now we are going to change the topic because I think that you can be stressed.
One question.
Yes.
About the second part of this part, we don't depend on the other person. We
Yes,
think
totally,
alone.
totally. Yes, yes, because it is again.
Okay.
Imagine, Mike, that I am taking the exam with you, and I say, "Well, Mike, because we have 1 minute. In my opinion, or what? Let me choose one. Choosing a pet could be very interesting and useful for students because in the act of selecting the adequate pet for their family, the student has to make a lot of analysis about the characteristic of the animals, how we can feed the animal, etc. Do you agree with me? And maybe you agree. Normally you agree, Mike, because if I select choosing a pet, you can select another one, and for sure I won't argue that. Do you understand? And then imagine that you consider that the second interesting thing is protecting animals in danger. Huh? You can say, yes, Jerry, I totally agree with you. And in my opinion, protecting animals in danger is also interesting for students because they can learn how to avoid some animals like the Iberian lynx to be extinct, to disappear from our countryside. So it could be very interesting for them. And then you pass the word to me. Do you agree with me? And I am sure that I will say, yes, totally. So, Mike, do you think that the two most interesting could be my choice, choosing a pet, and yours, protecting an animal? And we continue, and you continue. For example, yes, Jerry, because we are waiting the teacher to say stop. But we have already selected the two that we consider to be the most uh, what interesting and useful. Do you understand, Mike?
Yes, yes.
But
Thank you.
take into account that on Thursday next week, we are not going to take the second part. I am going to take only the conversation of 2 minutes, only that. Do you understand? Do you understand, Mike?
Yes, yes.
And you, Maria, do you understand? Maria de Los Ángeles? Okay. Well, friends, now let's go to page 139. 139 in your books, student's book, here. Because here we have the conclusions of unit number 12. It is important to do this exercise because next week, on Tuesday, the first class next week, we have mock test 6. We are going to evaluate the 6th examination that we take during the course. So we are going to practice for that. Let's begin with the vocabulary of unit number 12. Exercise number 1 here in this page, page 139. Vocabulary and grammar review of unit number 12. Vocabulary exercise number 1. For question 1 to 6, read this text and decide which answer A, B, C, or D best fits each gap. Similar to the exam, in the exam, this is normally use of English part 1. They give you a text and they give you letters A, B, C, or D for you to choose. Take your time, friends, and when you finish, Mike and Maria, send me a message. Very good, Mike. So he says, due to the destruction of their natural habitats, more and more animals need to be in number one. Mike, what's your opinion? A, B, C, or D?
B, I
For
think.
you is B, and for you, Maria? Okay, B. Very good. Well, by creating nature reserves and passing laws. Yes, because B is protected, need to be protected. Very good. By creating nature reserves and passing laws. The laws are often designed to, and in number two, friends, what is your letter? For Mike is letter C, and for Maria is letter A. Well, no, it's letter C, because letter C is the prevent. You see, you have farmers from, you have the preposition from, prevent, from are always together. So it is letter 2, designed to prevent farmers for using land where rare species live. The idea is that humans and animals, in number 3, A, B, C, or D, the idea is that humans, well, for Mike is letter A, and for Maria is letter A. Excellent. Yes, A, avoid. Avoid coming into conflict by not competing for the same land. Sometimes local people complain about losing farmland to nature reserves. However, jobs are often created for game wardens whose job is to, number 4, is to A, B, C, or D in number 4. Well, for Mike, it's letter B, and for Maria, it's letter B in number 4. But not, friend, it's letter D. Control the nature reserves, impossible. But supervise, yes, to supervise the nature reserves to make sure everything functions correctly. Other people get jobs selling tickets to visitors, and there are also jobs for people to blank the tickets in number 5. A, B, C, or D in number 5, in your opinion? For Maria is letter D, and for Mike is letter A. Well, letter A is check, and letter D supervise the tickets. No, you normally supervise people, right? That's why supervise here. Supervise the tickets, no, but check the tickets, yes. Check the tickets as the visitor pass the entrance. In nature reserves containing dangerous animals, it may only be possible to visit them by car, and wardens need to the number of cars need to what? The number of cars. Letter D for Maria de Los Angeles, supervise, and for Mike is letter B, which is control. Well, I repeat, supervise people. You can supervise the work of other people. The teachers can supervise the work of the students. Yes, but in this case, it's number of cars or control. Letter B is better. So in number 1, it must be B. In number 2, it must be letter C. In number 3, A. In number 4, D. In number 5, A. And in number 6, letter B. They are 6, so you need 4. If you have 4 correct answers, you are passing. Grammar, exercise number 2. Let's go to the grammar that we studied in unit number 12. Complete these sentences with the correct form of the verbs in brackets. In some sentences, more than one answer is possible. So here you have a combination of, because they are 12 sentences, 12. And sometimes you have to use the conditionals. Sometimes it's I wish, if only, I hope, everything together. So this exercise needs time. Take your time, but please, as soon as you finish, send me a message. Mike finished? And Maria finished. Very good, friends. It says, listen to me. The lions wouldn't have attacked us if they, and now the answer, this time I'm going to give you the answer because of the time, right? Check your answers and compare it with my answer. The lions wouldn't have attacked us if they hadn't been. So in the blank, had not been. This is the answer in number one. In number two, I wish it, two options here. I wish it was or were. Two possibilities in number two, was or were. In number three, observe this. If my math teacher wasn't or weren't, but here we have a problem, friends, because between parentheses you have be, and in my opinion, they should have written not be because it's negative. I tried to make it affirmative, but it doesn't make any sense. So finally, I decided that it has to be in past, and they forgot the not. If my math teacher wasn't ill at the moment, or if my math teacher weren't ill at the moment, we would have had, we would have had a math test yesterday. 4, if only you wouldn't make, would not make. If only you wouldn't make so much noise. 5, I wish I lived, simple past. I wish I lived near the city center. 6, where's Candice? I hope she hasn't missed. Or maybe simple past. I hope she didn't miss. The two options are acceptable. Hasn't, has not missed, or did not miss. Both acceptable. 7, I wish you, two possibilities, spoke. Simple past is acceptable here. I wish you spoke, but I think the perfect is I wish you would speak more clearly. I wish you would speak more clearly, porque es como una queja, como un reclamo, como algo que yo un poco te critico, y eso es el wish con would. Pero también si me ponen pasado simple spoke, tengo que aceptarlo porque la regla es esa. I wish you would speak, or I wish you spoke more clearly so I could understand you better. 8, I think this soup would be nicer if blah, 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 would be. Now in number 9, I hope you will change your shirt before blah, blah, blah. Will change. 10, I know my mother wishes she had studied harder. Had studied in number 10. In 11, we would have got to the cinema in time if blah, blah, blah. Would have got 11. 12, if you had eaten, past perfect. If you had eaten more breakfast, blah, blah, blah. And now number 3, observe exercise number 3, because this is the typical exercise in your exams use of English.
Sorry, Jerry.
Yes, Mike.
One question. What is the difference between if only and wish? But
nothing. They are synonyms.
Okay.
Completely synonym, Mike. And they work with the same grammatical characteristic. If you wish something in the present, imagine that you wish a car now, you want a car now, and you want to express your wish, you have two possibilities. I wish I had a car in past because you want it now. But you can say if only I had a car now. See, they are completely similar, Mike. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you, friend. Now let's go to exercise. I was telling you about the exam that we have next Tuesday. Let me check something because I don't want to give you false information. The exam we have on, the exam that we have on Tuesday, this time mock test number 6 is dealing with listening and use of English. And if you observe exercise 3 here on page 139, exercise 3 is the typical use of English examination. In the exam, this is use of English part 4, the final part of use of English. You have to write a similar sentence with the limits minimum 2 words, maximum 5. I'm going to give you time for you to finish, right? As soon as you finish exercise 3, send me a message. Mike, finished? Okay, Maria finished. So it says, number one, we are lost because we didn't bring the map with us, and you have to use left. If we what? Can you write your answers in the chat, please? If we what? Hadn't left for Mike. And for Maria? Hadn't left. Very good. Very good, kids. That's correct. If we hadn't left the map behind, we wouldn't be lost now. Excellent. Conditional number 3. Magda only did the work because we gave her the money beforehand, and you have to use paid. Magda wouldn't have done the work unless we advanced. What did you write in the space in blank? Had paid Maria de Los Angeles, and Mike had paid her in. Yes, look at that, Maria, because I think it's more complete. Had paid her in advance, because advance is always with in advance, por adelantado, in advance. So the answer is had paid her in advance. Now, number 3, even if he had worked harder, the result would have been the same, and you have to use difference. It wouldn't blank if he had worked harder. What did you write in the space in blank? It wouldn't have any difference. Well, you need something. It wouldn't have, and now you need a verb in past participle, because remember the combination would have and a verb in past participle, in this case made. It wouldn't have made any difference, blah, blah, blah. And Maria? Have been difference. No, not exactly. The correct answer would be it wouldn't have made any difference in the blank. Have made any difference. In Spanish, no habría significado ninguna diferencia si él incluso hubiese trabajado más duro. 4. It's a pity I don't get on better with my brother. Relationship. I wish my brother. Aquí necesitamos 5 palabritas. Had a better relationship, Mike. Yes, had a better relationship. Y falta una cosita, tienes 4. María Rosa, had a better relationship. Y le falta una palabrita. Para que diga, con mi hermano. ¿Ah? Falta el con. With. Very good, María de los Ángeles. Falta el with. Entonces quedaría algo así como, I wish I had a better relationship with my brother. Sacha would like Irina to help him from time to time. And you have to use once. Sacha wishes Irina blank a while. Esta fue muy difícil en todos los cursos. Esto es, Sacha wishes Irina would help him, que le ayudara, would help him de vez en cuando, porque arriba de ese, de vez en vez, from time to time. Y el sinónimo de from time to time es once in a while. Entonces debe quedar en el espacio, would help him once in. Once, O-N-C-E, once in. Such as which is Irina would help him once in a while. 6. Sergei is disappointed because the university rejected him. Rejected, le rechazó. Y hay una frase verbal que significa rechazar, que es turned down. Y ellos quieren que ustedes usen turn down, que es un sinónimo de reject. Cuidado con esto. Entonces debía quedar, if the university had not turned, con ed, right, turned him down, Sergei wouldn't be disappointed. If the university hadn't turned him down, si no le hubiese rechazado. Well, friends, let me talk to you. What is the homework for next class? Because we finished unit number 12, right? Next class on Tuesday, we have examination, mock test number 6. Use of English, parts 1, 2, 3, and 4, and listening, 1, 2, 3, and 4. It is not possible to prepare for the listening, but you can prepare for the use of English. So take all the use of English exercises that you have in your books, student's book, and workbook, from Unit 1 to Unit 12. Why these units? Because you have the answers. Because we have checked the answers together, right? Check the use of English, all the use of English you have, and try to study your mistakes. Besides, you know that I have been giving you in classes a lot of extra papers, copies, photocopies, use of English photocopies. Read these exercises, analyze your mistakes, learn from your mistakes, and prepare for the exams. Because when you are preparing for the mock test, which is not important because this is our examination, but if you take seriously the exam and you study for this exam, in reality you are preparing for the Cambridge exams. It is very important for you and for me that you pass my mock tests, right? So study for that. And remember that then on Thursday next week, June 25th, el 25 de junio, jueves, we have the speaking examination, right? Thank you, friends. Thank you very much for the effort. This class is being reduced. I have only 2 students, but maybe they are the best. My dear friend Maria de los Ángeles and Mike, thank you for being here with me. See you for the exam next week. Study, please. Study.
Thank you. Bye.